Hello, Columbus Aviator fans. Welcome to the OHIO podcast. We have your news and notes for the Columbus Aviators for Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, the UFL has just released their rule changes for 2026. We're going to dive into those right now. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And of course, let us know what you think about what we think down in the comment section below. We appreciate that very much as we continue to try and grow our Columbus Aviators community right here on YouTube for the OHIO podcast. Been doing this for years for Ohio State. Thought we would try our hand at the Columbus Aviators as well. We would love to have you be a part of our growing community. All right, that being said, let's get right into it. There are 7 rule changes, or I guess you could say interpretations, not necessarily rule changes for all of them, but we're going to go through them nonetheless. Number 1, 4-point field goals. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Any successful field goal kick from 60 yards or further will be worth now 4 points, 40 points. My goodness. It'd just be a 60-yard field goal kicking competition at that point. No, will be worth 4 points. So not 3, 4 points on a 60-yarder or more. So would there be a little bit of an advantage in maybe trying it or making sure you have the best kicker in the UFL? Absolutely. There's definitely an advantage to that. Rule number 2, ladies and gentlemen, 1 foot in bounds. That's right. This is a college rule. The UFL will require only 1 foot in bounds for a legal catch, adopting NCAA rules to increase passing and scoring and potentially enhance player safety. I've always been a bigger fan of college football than professional football. So that being said, I'm all for this. I could understand why some people are not, but for me personally, yeah, I'm down to clown with this one. Number 3, rule change number 3, red zone penalties. The UFL will reinstitute the rule of half the distance to the goal for penalties committed in the red zone, which reverts back to the current NFL rules. So that one is not so big of a deal. I think that's kind of what everybody expected anyway. So they'll go back to the old NFL rule, half the distance to the goal when a penalty is committed inside the red zone. They'll be banning the tush push in 2026 in the UFL. That's right, no tushy pushy, ladies and gentlemen. The league has eliminated the tush push, a play in which, after the quarterback takes the snap, he immediately drives forward as the offensive line surges and is assisted by additional players behind him who physically push him forward into the surging offensive line. So no longer are you allowed to put your hands up the backside of the quarterback and push him for a first down when the pile and trying to move the pile, a la old school rugby rules. That one is a no-no in the UFL moving forward. No punting inside the 50-yard line. Ooh, now this one's a little interesting. No punts will be allowed from anywhere inside the opponent's 50-yard line. And then they put in parentheses, in case you don't understand what that means, 49 yards and in, unless it is less than 2 minutes until the half or the end of the game. So if it's inside the 2-minute warning in the first or second half, then you're allowed to punt inside the 50. Otherwise, no punting. Once the ball is made ready for play inside the 50-yard line, a team cannot punt even if a subsequent penalty or loss of yardage moves the ball beyond the 50. If the ball is on the 50-yard line, a team may punt the ball. So even if you're on the 49-yard line and you want to take a delay a game, and that moves the ball outside of the outside, and so now you're, instead of 49 yards away from the end zone, you're now looking at 59 or whatever the penalty is. I don't know, it's 10 yards penalty might be. Yeah, delay a game's 10, right? So anyways, long story short, Doesn't matter. If you take that penalty, you still have to go for it. You cannot punt. So it would behoove you to, if you're fourth and long, I guess, to draw up either um, a play in which you try to get some extra yardage, you run the football, maybe a delayed run, try to catch them off guard, or you take a shot deep and hope you get a penalty, maybe a pass interference, which will get you a new set of downs. So it's a little bit of a risk it for the biscuit type of mentality here, but I like it. It makes you be aggressive, and I always like more aggressive play calling. Points after touchdown. Now, this one's really interesting as well. Teams will have 3 scrimmage play options to elect their point after touchdown attempt, plus a new 1-point kick option. 1-point conversion, a kick from the 33-yard line, a 2-point conversion, ball placed on the 2-yard line, or a 3-point conversion, ball placed at the 8-yard line. So, if a football team is down 9, it is no longer just a 2-possession football game. You can score a touchdown and get a 3-point conversion to tie the game up with 9 points. So again, some extra scoring happening here for offenses, some extra opportunities to get more points. I would say there's going to be a lot of practicing going on right now with 8-yard plays, 8-yard line of scrimmage plays for touchdowns, because now you have a 3-point conversion with that potential. So that's a very, very interesting one there. So, and then we have, oh, that's it. So those are your rule changes. So to go over them again real fast, you have the 4-point field goal of 60 yards or more. You only have to get 1 foot in bounds to make a catch now. You don't have to have 2 in bounds like in the NFL. Red zone penalties will be half the distance to the goal again. You no longer allowed to do the tush push, or is what we call here at the OHIO podcast, the tushy pushy. You're not allowed to punt from inside the 50-yard line unless it's the 2-minute warning or less at the end of the first and second halves. So you have to go for it when you get to the 50. I wonder how many teams on 3rd and longs will be forced by defenses, like they tackle them forward and make them like get to the 49, 48-yard line. There's some, like, it's really smart defensive teams will be like, yeah, if it's like, let's say it's third and 10 or third and 8, and they got the ball on their own 48, and they get a 4-yard gain. They're like, hey, make sure they get a 4 or 5-yard gain, so we make them go for it on 4th down. It's interesting. There's 3 ways to score points after touchdowns. You got the 1-point extra point, the 2-point conversion, and then you have the 3-point conversion now from the 8-yard line. Those are the rule changes that have been instituted by the UFL. Make sure you're locked in here at the OHIO podcast on our Columbus Aviators channel. Hit that thumbs up if you don't mind, everybody. Let me know what you think about these rule changes down in the comment section below. Do you like them? Which one's your favorite one? Which one do you hate? Are any of these, or you're like, I cannot stand any of these rules, man? Let me know what you think about all of these rules. And of course, also, there was one I didn't put in here. I'll mention it now. It's the kickoff rule, but it's what you've been seeing. The NFL's adopted it now too. It's the same thing. So that one's in there too. But I didn't feel like putting that one in there because I just, that one's not really a change. All right, guys, have a great day. We appreciate all of you. We'll be back with more Aviators content for you. So make sure you're locked in here and subscribed and ring the bell so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.